In a gripping courtroom drama that unfolded last week, a judge made a heart-wrenching decision that sent shockwaves through a tight-knit community. At the center of this emotional storm was an elderly woman, once a beacon of love and stability for her granddaughter, now facing the unthinkable, the loss of the girl she had raised as her own. The moment the young girl took the stand, her trembling voice echoed through the room, revealing secrets that would change everything. This was not just a legal battle, it was a clash of generations, trust, and the very essence of family. As the clock ticked away in the courthouse, tension hung thick in the air. Spectators filled the benches, their eyes glued to the proceedings, each one holding their breath as the truth began to unravel. The girl, caught between loyalty to her grandmother and the weight of her own experiences, bravely spoke out, her words laden with the innocence of youth yet tinged with the gravity of her reality. Each testimony was a thread, weaving a complex tapestry of love, fear, and betrayal that left the judge with an impossible choice. It was clear that this was more than a case. It was a pivotal moment that would resonate far beyond the courtroom walls. The elderly woman, a figure of resilience, had dedicated her life to nurturing her granddaughter, offering warmth and guidance during the most formative years. Yet, as the girl's revelations came to light, the courtroom became a battleground where past affections collided with present truths. The judge, faced with the responsibility of safeguarding a child's future, had to navigate the murky waters of familial bonds and the harsh realities that sometimes lurk beneath the surface. This was not merely about legalities, it was about the moral implications of a decision that could alter the course of two lives forever. Outside the courthouse, the community buzzed with speculation and concern. Friends and neighbors rallied around the elderly woman, sharing stories of her unwavering dedication and kindness. Yet, whispers of the girl's testimony cast a long shadow, leading many to question the nature of their relationship. What had driven the girl to speak out? What hidden truths lay beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic life? As the narrative unfolded, it became clear that this case would challenge perceptions of love, loyalty, and the lengths one might go to protect those they cherish. In the end, the judge's ruling would not only determine the fate of a young girl, but also serve as a poignant reminder of the complexities of human relationships. The impact of this decision would ripple through the community, igniting conversations about trust, safety, and the often unseen struggles within families. As the gavel fell, marking the conclusion of the trial, the echoes of the girl's testimony lingered, leaving everyone to ponder the delicate balance between protection and freedom and the true meaning of family in a world where love can sometimes be overshadowed by fear. In a quiet courtroom nestled in the heart of a bustling city, the air was thick with tension. A small wooden bench creaked under the weight of a grandmother, her hands trembling as she clutched a faded photograph of her granddaughter. The room was filled with murmurs, the soft shuffle of feet and the rustle of papers, but all eyes were fixed on the judge, a stern figure presiding over the proceedings. The case had drawn considerable attention, not just for its emotional stakes, but for the implications it held for family law. The elderly woman, known to many as a loving matriarch, found herself at the center of a storm, one that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of her family. As the proceedings began, the judge listened intently to the arguments presented by both sides. The elderly woman had raised her granddaughter since infancy, providing a stable home filled with warmth and love. However, whispers of concern had emerged regarding the girl's well-being, leading to this moment of reckoning. A social worker had reported unsettling observations, suggesting that the girl may not be receiving adequate care. The tension escalated when the judge called upon the granddaughter to take the stand, her small frame barely visible behind the large wooden podium. The girl's eyes darted nervously around the room, reflecting the weight of the moment. With a shaky voice, she began to recount her life with her grandmother, painting a picture of laughter, shared stories, and countless afternoons spent in the garden. Yet as she spoke, the atmosphere shifted. The girl's words, initially filled with affection, began to reveal cracks in the facade. She hesitated, her gaze dropping as she mentioned instances of neglect, forgotten meals, and missed school days. It was as if the very air had thickened, and the grandmother's face paled, her heart sinking with every word. The judge, sensing the gravity of the situation, leaned forward, his brow furrowing in concern. The courtroom held its breath as the girl continued, her voice trembling yet resolute. It became evident that the testimony was not merely a recounting of events, but a plea for understanding. The judge, faced with the delicate balance of protecting a child's welfare while considering the bond of family, made a decision that would echo far beyond that room. He ordered the immediate removal of the girl from her grandmother's custody, a choice that sent shockwaves through the courtroom. The elderly woman's anguished cries pierced the silence, a heart-wrenching reminder of the complexities of love and responsibility. As the gavel struck, marking the end of this chapter, the implications of the ruling began to unfold. The girl, now under the temporary care of the state, faced an uncertain future while the grandmother was left grappling with the sudden void in her life. Outside the courthouse, the world continued to turn, but for those involved, the echoes of that day would linger, a poignant reminder of the fragility of family ties and the often painful decisions made in the name of love. As we journey together through this vibrant community, your voice matters more than ever. By subscribing and sharing your thoughts in the comments, you not only enrich our discussions, but also empower others to join in and learn. Imagine the connections we can forge and the insights we can uncover together. So, take that step today. Join us, and let's create something extraordinary as a united force for growth and inspiration. In a dramatic courtroom scene, the air thick with tension, a judge made a pivotal decision that would reverberate far beyond the confines of the legal system. The elderly woman, a devoted grandmother, sat anxiously as her granddaughter prepared to take the stand. This moment was not just a routine testimony, it represented the culmination of a long battle for custody, and the emotional stakes were sky-high. The girl, barely 10 years old, had been caught in a whirlwind of familial discord and legal wrangling, and her voice held the power to sway the outcome of her future. As she began to speak, the judge, sensing the potential emotional turmoil that could ensue, ordered a recess and instructed court officials to escort the child away from the stand. This decision, while seemingly protective, raised critical questions about the nature of justice and the rights of the child. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated. It encapsulates the often fraught intersection of law, family, and the psychological well-being of minors. The court's primary responsibility is to safeguard the interests of the child, yet the very act of removing her from the stand could be interpreted as a denial of her agency. The judge's concern was palpable. He sought to shield the girl from the emotional weight of her testimony, which could have profound implications for her relationship with her grandmother. However, in doing so, he inadvertently highlighted the complexities of child testimony, particularly in cases involving family disputes. The very act of speaking out can be both liberating and burdensome for a child, and this delicate balance must be navigated with care. As the courtroom buzzed with murmurs, the implications of the judge's order began to unfold. The elderly woman, who had dedicated her life to caring for her granddaughter, faced the possibility of losing her in a system that often prioritizes legal technicalities over emotional realities. The girl, having been prepared to share her truth, was now left in a state of confusion and distress. This scenario raises essential questions about the role of the judiciary in family matters. Should the court intervene to protect a child from the emotional fallout of a legal proceeding, or does this intervention risk silencing their voice when it matters most? The balance between protection and empowerment is a tightrope that judges must walk, and this case exemplifies the challenges they face. The courtroom drama serves as a microcosm of broader societal issues regarding child welfare and family rights. It underscores the necessity for a nuanced approach to legal proceedings involving minors, one that considers not only the legal ramifications, but also the psychological impact on the child. As the case continues to unfold, advocates for children's rights will undoubtedly scrutinize the decisions made and their long-term consequences. The community watches closely, aware that the outcome could set a precedent for future cases involving similar circumstances. The stakes are high, and the ramifications of this single decision could influence not only the lives of those directly involved, but also the legal landscape surrounding child custody and testimony. In the end, this courtroom scene is more than just a legal battle. It is a poignant reminder of the complexities of family dynamics and the profound responsibilities that come with judicial authority. As the judge grapples with his decision, the implications for the grandmother, the granddaughter, and the legal system as a whole remain deeply intertwined, urging all involved to reflect on the true meaning of justice in the context of family. In a small town, the sun cast long shadows over the courthouse as a crowd gathered outside, murmuring anxiously. Inside, a judge was preparing to make a pivotal decision that would alter the lives of 3 individuals forever. The case involved an elderly woman, Margaret, who had raised her granddaughter, Lily, since infancy after her daughter passed away. Just as the courtroom doors swung open, a young girl, no more than 10, stood trembling on the witness stand, ready to share her truth. This moment was electrifying, as Lily's testimony could determine whether she would remain with Margaret or be placed in foster care. As the judge leaned in, the stakes felt impossibly high, underscoring the urgent need to understand the complexities of guardianship and child welfare in today's society. The backdrop of this courtroom drama is a chilling statistic that has recently surfaced. Over 400,000 children are currently in the US. Many of these children come from families facing challenges like poverty, substance abuse, or domestic violence. However, the case of Lily and Margaret highlights a different dimension. What happens when the family structure is intact, yet the state intervenes? The urgency to grasp the implications of such interventions is critical, especially as they can lead to irrevocable changes in a child's life. The courtroom buzzed with the weight of this knowledge, as onlookers understood that the outcome of this case could set a precedent for how similar situations are handled in the future. As Lily began to speak, her small voice quivered but grew stronger with each word. She recounted her life with Margaret, painting a vivid picture of love, stability, and shared memories. Yet, the opposing counsel, representing the state, was poised to argue that the elderly woman's age and health could jeopardize Lily's future. This conflict brought to light a significant knowledge gap. The criteria used by courts to determine custody often overlook the emotional bonds and stability that familial relationships provide. Instead, they focus on tangible metrics, such as age or financial status, which can lead to misguided decisions. The tension in the room was palpable, as everyone understood that the judge's ruling would not only affect Lily, but could also resonate through the community, influencing similar cases that might arise. With each passing moment, the urgency of understanding the intricacies of child welfare law became increasingly apparent. The courtroom was not just a battleground for legal arguments, it was a reflection of societal values and priorities. As the judge prepared to deliver a verdict, the implications of the decision loomed large. Would the system prioritize the well-being of a child who had known love and care, or would it adhere strictly to regulations that could tear her away from the only family she had ever known? This case served as a crucial reminder of the need for ongoing dialogue about the balance between state intervention and family preservation, urging all to consider the human stories behind the statistics. In this moment, the fate of a young girl hung in the balance, symbolizing the larger conversation about the future of child welfare in America. In a courtroom filled with tension, a pivotal moment unfolded when a judge was compelled to intervene in a deeply emotional case involving an elderly woman and her granddaughter. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the young girl prepared to take the stand, her testimony poised to reveal hidden truths that could alter the course of her life. This scenario was not merely a legal proceeding, it encapsulated broader themes of familial bonds, the rights of the vulnerable, and the complexities of guardianship. The elderly woman, who had cared for her granddaughter since infancy, faced the prospect of losing the child she had nurtured through various challenges. Their relationship was steeped in love and mutual dependence, yet external factors threatened to sever this bond. The court had been approached by social services, citing concerns about the woman's ability to provide a safe and stable environment for the girl. As the child began to testify, her words carried immense weight, not only revealing her own feelings, but also shedding light on the dynamics of their relationship. The judge, tasked with making a decision that would significantly impact both lives, listened intently. The testimony was not just a recounting of events. It was a window into the emotional landscape of a young girl caught between her loyalty to her grandmother and the pressures of a system designed to protect her. The courtroom became a stage where innocence collided with the harsh realities of adult decisions, forcing the judge to navigate the delicate balance between safeguarding a child's welfare and respecting familial ties. As the girl spoke, her voice trembled with a mixture of fear and resolve. She described the warmth of her grandmother's embrace, the stories shared during quiet evenings, and the laughter that filled their home. Yet she also touched upon moments of confusion and fear, painting a picture of a life that, while filled with love, was not without its challenges. This duality made the judge's task all the more complex. The law required a focus on the child's best interests, but the emotional nuances of the situation demanded a deeper understanding of love, loyalty, and the human spirit. In the midst of this emotional turmoil, the judge made a decisive move, ordering the immediate removal of the granddaughter from the elderly woman's custody. This action, stark and seemingly harsh, was rooted in a commitment to the child's safety. The judge recognized that while the bond between the girl and her grandmother was profound, it could not overshadow the potential risks that had been raised. This moment underscored the often painful reality of legal systems, where decisions must be made based on facts and assessments rather than emotions alone. The implications of this case extended beyond the courtroom walls, resonating with anyone who has grappled with the complexities of family dynamics and societal responsibilities. It served as a reminder of the precarious balance between love and safety, and the difficult choices that must sometimes be made to protect the most vulnerable among us. As the gavel struck, signaling the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, the audience was left to ponder the broader questions of justice, compassion, and the enduring power of human connection. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as the elderly woman, a longtime caregiver, sat nervously at the front. Her granddaughter, a bright-eyed girl of 10, was about to take the stand. The judge had already made it clear that the case hinged on the girl's testimony, which would determine her future. As the girl began to speak, recounting her experiences and feelings, it became evident that her words could sway the court's decision. The methodology of gathering this testimony was crucial, as it involved not just the legal framework, but also the emotional and psychological well-being of the child. To prepare for her testimony, the girl underwent a series of supportive sessions with a child psychologist. This professional utilized age-appropriate techniques to help her articulate her feelings and experiences clearly. Role-playing scenarios allowed the girl to practice what she wanted to say, helping her to feel more comfortable in the courtroom setting. For instance, she was encouraged to express her emotions through drawing, which provided a visual representation of her relationship with her grandmother. This method not only bolstered her confidence, but also ensured that her testimony was heartfelt and genuine. As the girl spoke, the courtroom fell silent, each word resonating with the weight of her truth. The judge listened intently, weighing the emotional impact of her testimony against the legal standards for custody. This moment showcased the importance of creating a safe space for children to express themselves. It is vital for legal professionals to understand how to engage with young witnesses, ensuring that they feel secure and validated. Techniques such as using simple language, maintaining eye contact, and providing reassurance can significantly enhance a child's willingness to share their story. The impact of the girl's testimony was profound. It not only influenced the judge's decision, but also highlighted the need for a more compassionate approach to family law. In this case, the judge decided to grant temporary custody to the elderly woman, recognizing the deep bond between her and her granddaughter. This outcome was a testament to the effectiveness of preparing young witnesses and the importance of listening to their voices in legal proceedings. In practical terms, legal practitioners can adopt several actionable steps to improve the experiences of child witnesses. First, they should collaborate with child psychologists to develop tailored strategies for each case. This partnership can ensure that children are not only prepared to testify, but also emotionally supported throughout the process. Additionally, training for attorneys and judges on child development and communication techniques can foster a more empathetic courtroom environment. Moreover, implementing child-friendly courtroom designs can further enhance the experience. Comfortable seating, calming colors, and the presence of supportive adults can create an atmosphere conducive to open dialogue. Such changes can help alleviate the anxiety that often accompanies legal proceedings for children, allowing them to focus on sharing their truths. Ultimately, the case serves as a reminder of the critical intersection between law and emotional well-being. By prioritizing the voices of children and employing thoughtful methodologies, the justice system can ensure that decisions made in the courtroom reflect not just legal standards, but also the profound emotional realities of those involved. This holistic approach can pave the way for more equitable outcomes, reaffirming the belief that every child's voice matters. In a courtroom drama that unfolded recently, a judge faced the formidable task of balancing the emotional weight of familial bonds against the stark realities of legal obligations. The case centered around an elderly woman who had been the primary caregiver for her granddaughter, only to find herself on the defensive when the girl began to testify about her experiences. The moment the young girl spoke, the atmosphere shifted palpably. Her words carried a gravity that transcended mere testimony. It became evident that the court was not just a venue for legal proceedings, but a crucible for deep-seated emotions and complex family dynamics. As the girl recounted her experiences, the judge was confronted with a dilemma that required more than just legal acumen. This situation called for an understanding of child psychology and the nuances of familial relationships. Experts in child welfare often emphasize the importance of a child's voice in legal matters, asserting that children should be heard in decisions affecting their lives. Research indicates that children who feel empowered to express their thoughts and feelings tend to exhibit healthier emotional development. In this case, the judge had to weigh the emotional testimony of the granddaughter against the backdrop of her grandmother's long-standing role as a caregiver. The challenge lay in discerning whether the girl's testimony stemmed from genuine concern for her well-being or was influenced by external pressures. To navigate this intricate landscape, the judge could employ advanced techniques, such as appointing a guardian ad litem, an independent advocate for the child's best interests. This individual could provide an objective perspective, helping to ensure that the girl's voice was not only heard, but understood in the context of her overall well-being. Additionally, utilizing child psychologists to assess the girl's emotional state could offer further insights into her testimony, allowing for a more nuanced understanding of her needs and desires. Such strategies would not only enrich the court's decision-making process, but also reinforce the principle that a child's welfare is paramount. As the case progressed, the importance of fostering a supportive environment became increasingly clear. The judge could encourage family counseling sessions, creating a space where the elderly woman and her granddaughter could explore their relationship dynamics in a constructive manner. This approach aligns with findings from family therapy research, which suggests that open communication can repair fractured relationships and promote healing. By integrating therapeutic practices alongside legal proceedings, the court could facilitate a resolution that honors both the legal framework and the emotional realities at play. Ultimately, the resolution of this case hinged on the delicate interplay between law and empathy. The judge's decision to remove the granddaughter from the elderly woman's care, though difficult, underscored the necessity of prioritizing the child's safety and emotional health. By embracing innovative solutions and engaging with experts, the court could transform a potentially divisive situation into an opportunity for growth and healing. In doing so, it would not only fulfill its legal obligations, but also reaffirm the profound responsibility that comes with safeguarding the most vulnerable members of society. In the end, this case serves as a poignant reminder that the law, while essential, must always be tempered with compassion and understanding. In a striking case that underscores the complexities of familial relationships and the legal system, a judge was compelled to remove a granddaughter from the custody of her elderly grandmother during a testimony that revealed troubling dynamics. This situation reflects broader societal concerns regarding the welfare of children and the capabilities of elderly caregivers. According to a 2020 report from the American Bar Association, over 2 United States, often facing significant challenges related to age, health, and financial stability. As the granddaughter began to testify, her statements raised alarms about her living conditions and the emotional environment fostered by her grandmother. Child welfare experts have noted that children's testimonies can be pivotal in custody cases, especially when they reveal fears or concerns about their safety. Research from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network indicates that children exposed to instability or neglect may exhibit signs of trauma, which can manifest in various ways, including anxiety, withdrawal, or disruptive behavior. In this instance, the judge's decision to intervene was likely influenced by the need to prioritize the child's emotional and physical well-being. The complexities of elder caregiving add another layer to such legal battles. Many elderly individuals, while loving and well-intentioned, may struggle with the demands of raising a child. A study published in the Journal of Family Issues highlighted that older caregivers often face health issues that can impact their ability to provide adequate care. This situation can lead to a precarious balance between affection and the necessary resources for a child's development. In this case, the judge's order to remove the granddaughter was not merely a reflection of the grandmother's capabilities, but also a recognition of the child's right to a safe and nurturing environment. Furthermore, the legal framework surrounding custody and guardianship often emphasizes the best interests of the child, a principle enshrined in family law. The American Academy of Pediatrics advocates for child welfare policies that prioritize stable and supportive environments, especially in cases of potential neglect or abuse. When the granddaughter's testimony indicated distress, the judge was tasked with making a swift decision to prevent any further emotional harm. This aligns with the findings from the Child Welfare Information Gateway, which emphasizes the importance of listening to children's voices in legal proceedings affecting their lives. The emotional weight of such decisions cannot be understated. Experts in child psychology stress the importance of stability in a child's life, particularly during formative years. A sudden removal from a familiar environment, even one that may be problematic, can lead to further psychological distress. However, when safety is at stake, as indicated by the granddaughter's testimony, the legal system often prioritizes immediate action over gradual adjustments. This tension between the need for stability and the necessity of intervention is a defining feature of many custody disputes. In conclusion, this case illustrates the intricate interplay between familial love, legal responsibility, and child welfare. The judge's decision to remove the granddaughter from her grandmother's custody underscores the critical importance of prioritizing the child's safety and emotional health. As society grapples with the challenges of intergenerational caregiving, it becomes increasingly vital to ensure that the legal system remains responsive to the needs of the most vulnerable, particularly when their voices are finally heard in a court of law. In a gripping courtroom drama, the tension escalated when a judge intervened during a critical testimony involving a young girl and her elderly guardian. The case revolved around the complex relationship between the girl and the woman who had cared for her, raising questions about the nature of their bond and the implications of their circumstances. As the girl began to share her experiences, it became evident that her testimony held significant weight, prompting the judge to act decisively in the interest of her welfare. This moment marked a turning point, illustrating the delicate balance between authority and compassion in legal proceedings. The courtroom atmosphere was charged with emotion as the girl's words began to unravel the layers of her life with the elderly woman. Her testimony revealed both affection and underlying concerns, painting a nuanced picture of their relationship. The judge's decision to remove the girl from the situation underscored the gravity of the revelations, emphasizing the responsibility of the legal system to protect vulnerable individuals. This action was not merely a legal maneuver. It was a profound acknowledgement of the complexities inherent in familial bonds, especially when they involve caretaking and dependency. As the case unfolded, the audience witnessed the interplay of love, loyalty, and the harsh realities of life. The elderly woman, who had devoted herself to the girl's upbringing, faced the heart-wrenching possibility of losing her. Yet, the girl's emerging voice served as a beacon, highlighting the importance of listening to those directly affected by such decisions. The judge's ruling was a reminder that, while the law must guide actions, the human element remains paramount. The courtroom became a stage for the exploration of moral dilemmas, where the well-being of a child took precedence over established relationships. In the final moments of the proceedings, the implications of the judge's order loomed large, leaving both the girl and the elderly woman at a crossroads. The resolution of this case would not only determine their immediate futures, but also set a precedent for how similar situations might be handled in the future. The audience was left to ponder the broader societal implications of the ruling, reflecting on the responsibilities we hold towards the most vulnerable among us. This case served as a poignant reminder of the intricate dynamics of caregiving and the necessity for vigilance in safeguarding the rights and well-being of those who may not have the power to speak for themselves. As we approach the conclusion of this compelling narrative, the audience is invited to consider the weight of the judge's decision and its ripple effects. The resolution promises to bring clarity, Yet it also raises further questions about the nature of love, protection, and the legal system's role in nurturing or disrupting familial ties. The journey through this emotionally charged case has illuminated the profound complexities of human relationships, leaving us to reflect on the delicate balance between law and compassion in the pursuit of justice. In a deeply troubling case, a judge made the decision to remove a young girl from her elderly guardian during a testimony that revealed unsettling truths about her living situation. This moment not only highlighted the complexities of guardianship laws, but also underscored the emotional turmoil faced by both the child and the caregiver. The elderly woman, who had dedicated years to nurturing her granddaughter, found herself in a precarious position as the court sought to act in the best interests of the child. The testimony, which served as a pivotal point in the proceedings, brought to light concerns that required immediate attention and action. To address the situation effectively, it is crucial to engage all stakeholders, including legal representatives, social services, and family support networks. The first step involves conducting a thorough investigation into the claims made during the testimony. This assessment should include interviews with the girl, the elderly woman, and any other relevant parties to gather a comprehensive understanding of the circumstances. By employing a multifaceted approach, the court can ensure that the girl's emotional and physical well-being is prioritized, while also considering the elderly woman's rights and her capacity to care for her granddaughter. This process will not only clarify the facts, but also facilitate a more informed decision-making environment. Simultaneously, it is vital to provide immediate support services to both the granddaughter and the elderly woman. This includes counseling for the girl to help her process the upheaval in her life, and support groups for the elderly woman to address her emotional and psychological needs. By establishing a network of assistance, we can promote healing and stability for both parties. Furthermore, involving child welfare advocates can help bridge the gap between the legal system and the family's emotional needs, ensuring that the child's voice is heard and respected throughout the process. As the case progresses, it is essential to develop a clear plan for reunification or alternative arrangements, should that be necessary. This plan should be flexible and responsive to the evolving needs of the child, ensuring that her best interests remain at the forefront. Regular follow-ups and assessments will be critical in monitoring the situation and making adjustments as needed. By fostering open lines of communication among all involved, we can create a supportive environment that encourages collaboration and understanding. In conclusion, the removal of a child from a familiar environment is a complex issue that requires careful consideration and a compassionate approach. By prioritizing thorough investigations, providing essential support services, and developing a clear plan for the future, we can navigate this challenging situation with sensitivity and care. It is imperative that we act swiftly and decisively to protect the well-being of the child, while also honoring the commitment of the elderly guardian. Together, we can work towards a resolution that fosters healing and stability, ensuring that both the granddaughter and her guardian can find a path forward that respects their bond and individual needs. Let us commit to taking these actionable steps, advocating for their rights and ensuring that their voices are heard in this critical moment. In examining the complex scenario where a judge intervenes to separate a granddaughter from her elderly caregiver, we delve into the intricate layers of human relationships, authority, and the quest for justice. The emotional landscape of this case is marked by the tension between the autonomy of the elderly woman, who has likely provided love and care over the years, and the perceived welfare of the granddaughter, who finds her voice in a moment of testimony. This situation raises critical questions about the roles of authority figures and the moral implications of their decisions. The judge's order, though rooted in a desire to protect, reflects a broader societal challenge. How do we balance the rights of individuals against the backdrop of familial bonds and personal histories? The granddaughter's willingness to speak out signifies not just her own struggles, but also the universal theme of seeking truth in the face of adversity. As we navigate through the emotional and ethical ramifications of this case, it's imperative to acknowledge the profound impact that such decisions have on all parties involved. The elderly woman, perhaps facing her own vulnerabilities, stands at the crossroads of love and loss, while the granddaughter grapples with the complexities of loyalty and truth. The judge's role, while authoritative, also embodies the weight of responsibility that comes with making choices that alter lives. This narrative serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between protection and autonomy, urging us to consider the nuances that define our relationships and the systems that govern them. The act of speaking out, as demonstrated by the granddaughter, becomes a powerful catalyst for change, highlighting the importance of listening to those who may feel voiceless in their circumstances. Ultimately, this story resonates with the enduring truth that the heart of every legal decision is rooted in human experience. It invites us to reflect on our own lives, encouraging us to advocate for those who may not have the strength to do so themselves. In a world where authority often overshadows personal narratives, we are reminded that empathy and understanding should guide our actions. The bonds of family, though sometimes fraught with challenges, can serve as a source of strength and resilience. As we move forward, let us carry with us the lesson that every voice matters, and in the pursuit of justice, we must strive to honor the intricate tapestry of human connection that binds us all. By fostering an environment where dialogue and compassion prevail, we can create a future where every individual feels seen, heard, and valued, regardless of their circumstances.